In this video, we're going to look at the Advanced Word Structure option and why you might want to use it for your vocabulary generation. The basic word structure is easy to use but has some limitations. It allows you to specify consonants at the beginning, middle and end of words, as well as permissible consonant sequences. This is great if you only want a small number of consonant sequences, but it's not so great if you want many permissible sequences. Not only do you have to write them all out, but it can create a long tail of unlikely sequences that may never even show up in the vocabulary, since leftmost entries are made more common than the rightmost ones. It also doesn't allow you to control the probability of vowels at different positions of the word, probabilities of consonant-vowel sequences, or the average length of words. The Advanced Word Structure can do all this and more. The way it works is, first, you define sets of phonemes as classes, represented by uppercase letters. Then you define possible word patterns using those classes. In this very basic example, I want my language to have these consonants and these vowels. I'm naming them C and V, but you can use any uppercase letter. Next, I want all my words to be either a CV, 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 or CV, CV, CV pattern. This means all my words will be exactly 2, 4 or 6 phonemes long, always following a randomly selected consonant-vowel sequence. Mixing in a CC pattern permits any two consonants next to each other in that particular position. But the real power of the Advanced Word Structure comes from creating extra classes. For example, I could create another class of consonants in order to modify the types of consonants allowed next to each other. Or I could create another class of vowels and have only certain word patterns use this class. The sky's the limit with the number of ways you can combine classes. That's it in a nutshell. But there are a few helpful pointers to be aware of. 1. There's nothing to stop you from encoding whole sequences of phonemes into classes. 2. Classes can be made up of combinations of other classes. This can greatly simplify your word patterns. 3. Round brackets make patterns optional. By default, optional patterns will be selected 20% of the time. You can manually tweak this probability by writing it immediately after the closing bracket. And 4. Phonemes can be written directly into word patterns. So, as you can see, there's always multiple ways to achieve the same thing. After your main patterns, you may define patterns for parts of speech. For instance, you may want shorter word patterns for pronouns. Many people don't like their words for you and I to be 3 or 4 syllables long. Be aware that you always need to make enough word patterns to be able to generate 4,000 unique words, and enough for any part of speech patterns too. Oftentimes, adding one more longer pattern is enough to get it across the line. But if you keep getting that error message, be sure to check that you have enough part of speech patterns. Finally, there are affix patterns. Technically, word patterns tell the generator how to create base words. Remember that the generator randomly creates some derived words from existing base words. Government may take the base word govern and add an affix to it. Therefore, we need to give the generator instructions for how to build affixes too. This example allows a CV suffix and CV prefix. You can also create conditional affix rules. See the custom vocabulary guide for more info on that topic.